There's a wide variety of radiopharmaceuticals that are used that basically we can image just about every organ system in the body.
Indiana's growing role as a leader in radiopharmaceuticals, how this form of nuclear medicine is saving lives and pumping billions into the state's economy.
Ladies, let's see it.
Plus, putting a feather in the cap of Hoosier business and community leaders from around the state. Meet some of the honorees of this year's IBJ Media Indiana 250 list.
So I put this one on here, and then this one goes on top of here. Oh no, I messed it up.
And IU, showcasing a new strategy involving pizza and chips to get kids interested in STEM. Inside Indiana Business is next.
From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gerry Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and LIUNA.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick. Indianapolis, already known as the racing capital of the world, now the state of Indiana gaining traction as a global leader in the life sciences sector, specifically when it comes to the $6 billion nuclear medicine market. In fact, just this week, the state trademarked the phrase Radiopharmaceutical Capital of the World. Bioscience companies like SpectronRx, Novartis, and RayzeBio all growing their footprint in Indiana and making a big impact on new treatments for cancer patients.
We're going to help transform the lives of patients with cancer here in Indiana and around the world.
This new facility is truly state-of-the-art. There's no better home for it than right here in Indianapolis. It is a sign of enormous momentum.
Big Mo indeed. Indiana already the #1 state in the nation for life sciences and pharmaceutical exports, which add up to nearly $50 billion in economic impact for the state. Business of Health reporter Kylie Veleta has been following the radiopharma revolution in Indiana from the get-go, and Kylie has much more on the story.
It really started gaining traction a few years ago. Experts we talked with this week say Central Indiana is now not only the best place for radiopharmaceuticals in the U.S., but in the world. And now Purdue University adding to its might, announcing it will be the first in the country to launch a graduate degree in radiopharmaceutical manufacturing.
2, 1.
An undeniable business boom is underway in Central Indiana. Already home to the nation's largest cluster of radiopharmaceutical companies, the hub is hotter than ever. Just days ago, RayzeBio, which is Bristol Myers Squibb radiopharmaceutical business, cut the ribbon on its new production plant in Indianapolis. Novartis, which opened its Indy manufacturing facility just 2 years ago, is already expanding, adding an additional plant to the campus. It's a level of growth surprising even those in the industry.
If I was to try to predict this 5 years ago, no way. It wasn't even on the radar. It's been pretty amazing.
Radiopharmaceuticals are the newest frontier in cancer treatment. Traditional radiation therapy can damage surrounding healthy tissue near the tumor, but radiopharmaceuticals are much more precise. Radioactive atoms are attached to another molecule that takes the radioactivity directly to the tumor to destroy only the cancer cells, protecting healthy tissue. Each radioactive drug must reach the patient in less than 5 days from the moment it's made, so the FedEx hub in Indy, the second largest in the world, is a major advantage. And Purdue, home to the largest nuclear medicine pharmacy program in the nation.
As we watch the number of drugs that are in the pipeline and that are coming to market in the next few years, it's just going to continually increase the need for those pharmacists.
Purdue, now the first in the U.S. to launch a graduate degree for radiopharmaceutical manufacturing.
We're looking at a huge increase in the number of doses with these theranostic agents that we are seeing hitting in the market. So we will definitely need to have more and more trained folks in this space.
Purdue tapped Indianapolis-based contract manufacturer SpectronRx to partner on the degree.
Having that master's degree is really important for the industry as a whole, just because that training, once again, is something that's very important and lacking in our field.
As part of the new graduate program, Spectron is creating a training center at its plant. complete with clean rooms and quality control equipment. Students will also learn how to respond to a spill. In the nuclear medicine world, that's likely just 1 or 2 atoms.
You really don't want to mock up a spill in your active facility. So this is in this training facility, this practice facility, that's probably one of the most interesting things that we can do is mock up that spill and then teach people how to react to that spill.
The $6 billion nuclear medicine market is expected to more than triple in the next 7 years, with Indiana at the epicenter.
No way I even would have seen this, 2 years ago where we're at today. So I can only imagine that with the success we're seeing and the patient life we're improving or extending, that this is only going to grow more. And Indianapolis is a perfect location for that.
Indiana showing its might in medicine's next frontier.
Fascinating story, Kylie. And back to the whole trademarking of Radiopharmaceutical Capital.
Right.
What's Indiana, what's the state going to do with that?
Well, so BioCrossroads led that push, which is the state's life sciences initiative. And they said this sector is moving so fast. It's really about Indiana staking its claim first. And it gives Indiana a competitive edge in a very competitive market, which helps attract investment, talent. So it's really just about helping leverage what we have here and giving it an official title.
Thanks for being on top of it. We'll talk to you
Always.
soon. Well, if you are going to land on a list, IBJ Media's Indiana 250 would be a good one to shoot for. This week, IBJ Media unveiled the cream of the crop in Indiana business, government, philanthropy, and the arts. The annual Indiana 250 list showcasing Indiana leaders from across the state, considered a badge of honor for them. You're going to hear from some of the IBJ 250 honorees throughout this week's show. And IBJ Media CEO Nate Feldman will join us later in the show to add more perspective on what the 250 list is all about. When we come back, boom is the new battle cry in Noblesville. The city's new NBA G League team, the Noblesville Boom, a major part of the plan for the city's new $93 million multi-purpose arena. We get a first look inside and explore the potential economic impact on the region. That's next.
Greatest challenge facing the state is the unpredictability of government funding. Nonprofit sector employs 1 in 10 Hoosiers and generates $77 billion annually. We're the platform on which the economy sits. We provide workforce training, we offer child care, we even ensure that we have healthy communities. Without quality partnerships, the state's economy is at risk.
I think our greatest challenge is to continue to find ways to grow our population, not only here in central Indiana, but across the entire state of Indiana. And we're going to have to find ways to continue to invest to make this an attractive place to grow, raise families, and live. And I think that's going to be the thing that's going to hold us back from the growth I think we all expect and want here in Indiana.
Two Hoosier CEOs, Claudia Cummings from the Indiana Philanthropy Institute and Jim Ryan at Old National Bank, with thoughts on some of the biggest challenges facing the state. They're among several of the IBJ Indiana 250 honorees we'll be highlighting throughout this week's show. But first, this has been some 20 months in the making, something that's going to really transform Noblesville and the surrounding area. It is the arena at Innovation Mile, and it's about to open. And this week, we got a first look inside at another game changer for Hamilton County. From cornfield to Coliseum, Noblesville about to christen the arena at Innovation Mile, a $93 million development that will be home to the Indiana Pacers G League team, the Noblesville Boom, a venue that is already being viewed as a model for the future of the league.
The building was designed to host multiple events, concerts to comedy to dances and graduations, but basketball was really the test case for the space. For a basketball game, we can host right under 3,500 people, but we can get up to around 5,000 for a concert, and then can kind of go up and down depending on the different events. So cheerleading to gymnastics to potentially boxing or wrestling and really anything else you can imagine, we're going to try to put in here.
From basketball to business, city leaders expect the new arena to deliver wins, both on and off the court. An economic impact study suggests the arena at Innovation Mile will generate more than $2 billion in new spending over a 30-year period. It's part of an emerging technology hub, dubbed Innovation Mile, a $150 million, 600-acre mix of innovation-based businesses, retail, residential, and recreation space just off I-69 near Ruoff Music Center. Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen says it will be the new front door for Hamilton County's oldest city.
Our downtown in Noblesville, we have a hallmark town square, Courthouse Square, and that's really been our bread and butter. It's what a lot of people think of when they think of Noblesville. But I would think of, as we look to the future, a lot of folks, that exit 210 area is going to be the front door to Hamilton County, to Central Indiana, and to Noblesville. You saw 7 million visitors visit Hamilton Town Center last year alone. So that is quickly becoming the front door. This is really a catalyst for that whole eastern corridor in our community. And again, I think as we look as a state to the future, we've got to be in the game when it comes to life sciences and medical devices and advanced manufacturing. And this arena is going to anchor that area that helps drive our economy of the state in the future.
The first official event at the arena, Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen's State of the City address, August 8th.
Here's what's making news around Indiana, brought to you by the Indiana Association of Realtors. Indiana's 21,000 realtors, the neighbors you know, the experts you can count on.
And we begin this week in Southwest Indiana, where CountryMark is celebrating the completion of a $100 million expansion in Mount Vernon. It is the single largest investment in the company's history. The money went to improvements for the company's diesel fuel production operation. CountryMark says fuel quality will be improved and production can increase. They're also working with soybean farmers in Indiana to make co-processed renewable diesel.
Big companies, small companies, people that are worried about the environment, are trying to reduce their carbon footprint. And so that's really the big driver on implementing more renewable fuels.
The co-processing for renewable diesel should start in September. Well, this week, the first of nearly 200 large concrete beams were delivered for the next phase of the I-69 Ohio River Crossing Project in Evansville. Section 3 of the project focuses on the approach roadways and bridges that will provide access to the river, where a new bridge will eventually be built. The Greater Kokomo Economic Development Alliance is launching a marketing and branding initiative for small businesses. The year-long Level Up Business Branding Program will provide professional marketing tools and mentorship to help companies grow. In addition to community partners, the program is designed to create a sense of community among participants. Funding for Level Up comes from a $40,000 Indiana Economic Development grant.
We can provide a very on-demand, intentional, one-on-one dedicated marketing and branding opportunity that's so broadly needed in our business base.
The program kicked off this week, and a committee will select 1 or 2 businesses each month to participate. For details, you can check out the story we have at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. And we'll be right back.
The overall state of the economy is fabulous in Indiana. Indiana's been such a business-friendly state for so many years, and we can feel it in our company. I'm sure a lot of businesses can as well. It's not over-regulated. It's not over-managed in a way that's negative for businesses.
I think the overall state of the economy in Indiana is really promising, Gary. I feel really strong about it. We've been able to diversify our offering, and over the past 10 years, we've been able to attract more and more investment to the state, biotech, quantum, advanced energy. We're so proud of what we've been able to do here across the state.
2 business leaders, Ron Romaine and Heather Innes, representing Northwest and Southwest Indiana, sharing their insight on the state of the Hoosier economy. They're among some of the IBJ Media Indiana 250 honorees we're highlighting this week. IBJ Media also with an eye on Indiana's energy future, specifically nuclear energy. It was in focus this week at a forum presented by IBJ Media. Nearly 300 energy, business, and community leaders part of the conversation at the Heritage Group's corporate headquarters, including Indiana Secretary of Energy Susie Jaworski, who moderated a panel on the state of nuclear energy. It is a topic of particular importance in Spencer County, where Indiana Michigan Power is exploring a major investment in small modular reactor technology at the Rockport Generating Station, where coal-fired units are set to phase out by the end of 2028 and could find new life with nuclear technology. Community leaders see the potential investment as a way to combat population loss.
Rural communities are fighting that, obviously, and a big part of it is employment, high-quality jobs where you can earn a good living. So, yes, we see this as a great opportunity, not just for our students, but our community, and not just Rockport, but all of southwestern Indiana, to be honest. This has the potential to be a real game changer for our area of the state.
Indiana Michigan Power's nuclear plans for Spencer County are in the early stages. It's estimated it would likely be at least a decade before it becomes operational.
Time now for our Eye on Education, brought to you by PNC Bank.
IU's Luddy School of Informatics, Computing, and Engineering is hoping to educate and inspire the next generation with a web series focused on microchips.
Chip kids, welcome to our show. All about devices, let's get locked in.
Luddy School Dean Joanna Milenchik is working to enhance and amplify the semiconductor industry by collaborating on the Chip Kids series.
There is a huge push to increase the amount of microelectronics industry and also research and development in Indiana. Even though we all work with devices of various types, we may not really understand what these things really are. And it's important to get middle school age kids interested and actually understand what's going on.
While you may think computer chips look flat, they are actually made up of many layers of different materials, stuffing a lot of technology into a small package.
Season 1 of Chip Kids features 7 episodes highlighting at-home science experiments.
So I put this one on here, and then this one goes on top of here. Oh no, I messed it up.
And animations explaining various aspects of microchips.
Microelectronics or microchips can be thought of as the brains behind all the devices that we use in our day-to-day lives.
The focus is on engagement and getting students involved in learning.
Rather than having, like these really complicated experiments that you need specialized equipment for, we took them and we revised them so that you can use like everyday kind of stuff that you can buy at the grocery store or at a hardware store so that kids could do it themselves.
Across the state, there are more than 1,500 current and planned jobs within the semiconductor industry. South Korean chip manufacturer SK Hynix is planning a nearly $4 billion manufacturing campus in West Lafayette. The Leap District in Lebanon and Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane are also expected to draw investment related to microchips.
They are extremely well known in microelectronics research and reliability. And so we've been partnering with Crane for the last couple of years on research.
Season 2 of the award-winning series is now in the works.
I didn't know microchips was made out of this many layers. This reminds me of a block of cheese.
As IU pushes play on more efforts to get kids involved in STEM. And if you want to watch Chip Kids or learn more about semiconductors, the series is available to watch on YouTube. Coming up next, we wrap up our special coverage honoring the 2025 class of IBJ Media's Indiana 250, what showcasing the best and brightest leaders in Indiana means for business in the state.
This opportunity right now is to fix the child care crisis. It would create a huge economic boom for the employees, the opportunities that these people have. Right now you have a lot of couples that can't afford to choose between work or stay at home.
I think the greatest opportunity in the state of Indiana is not going to come from the boardroom. It's not going to come from the State House. It's what's going on in the high schools with the new NCAP program. We're actually taking students, giving them career skills, whether completing a high school degree, and building the workforce that's desperately needed here in the state of Indiana for our future growth.
Back now to put a bow on our Indiana 250 coverage. Joined now by IBJ Media President and CEO Nate Feltman. And Nate, I remember you kind of came up with the idea for this 4 years ago. I thought it was a great idea then. What was the whole idea behind the Indiana 250?
Well, Gary, first, great to be with you.
awesome to have you part of IBJ Media, of course. We're also in about year 4, aren't we? We're year 4 plus. Really, the idea behind it is recognizing the incredible leadership that's occurring around our state and communities around our state, not just in the for-profit world, but also nonprofit, philanthropy, arts, government, education sector. There's really nothing that's recognizing at that time leadership throughout the state and talking about the economic development, things that you talk about on this show all the time. The good work in community development and highlighting that for everybody in one place around the state. And that's really what the Indiana 250 is all about.
Showing some video of a tremendous event at the new IMS Museum. And what was so obvious there was the statewide nature. And you had business and community leaders from literally every corner of the state. I know that's a big focus.
It's a huge focus. Of course, it's a huge focus for IBJ Media. It's why we're together with the Inside Indiana Business. Our goal is to really grow our media company on a statewide basis to be that company where you can find all the information that you need to know for doing business in the state, and not just doing business, but for government officials, for all those that really want to get a handle on what's happening. You've been doing it for 25 plus years. We want to do it in even a bigger way with your help, of course.
Had 60 plus new folks on the last this year. And there was an increased interest in sports too.
Yeah, we added a little bit more than 60, like you said. But of course, the last 12 months, I should say, the last year has been an increased focus on sports. I mean, sports, of course, are becoming even more important from an economic development perspective. But with Notre Dame in the national championship game, the NBA All-Star game, the WNBA All-Star game, the swimming championships. So much happening, so we recognize a lot of those leaders and athletes who are involved in making this a great sports place.
Very quick, I want to get to your podcast, the Off the Record podcast, because it amplifies the storytelling behind these Indiana 250.
Yeah, I'm having so much fun with the podcast. You know, the goal there is to tell the stories of each of these folks. We've done about 45, got only about 250 more to go, maybe 300 more to go. But it is an awesome opportunity for people to learn about their stories, the impact they're having, and for these folks who serve as mentors to even have a bigger opportunity to do so.
Nate Feldman, always great to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. That's all the time we have for this week's show. Thanks for joining us. It's that time of year, football season right around the corner. And as we leave you, images from Colts camp, which is kicked off at Grant Park in Westfield. Go out and make it a successful one.